Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. This is a meeting of the Lakeville Conservation Commission. It is November 10th, 2020. Order. We have a full agenda tonight, so I'm going to get started as soon as we get rid of some of the legalese. This is Bob Bouchard, Chairman of the Lakeville Conservation, are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Joseph.
Present.
Nancy.
Present.
Mark.
Here.
John.
Here.
And Josh.
Here.
Josh, okay, good. Also, anticipated speakers on the agenda, if you could please identify yourselves. I see Chris Chapin.
He's muted.
I think-
Are you muted?
I think he's muted, but I can see
Second.
he's here.
Up here.
Kyle
You got me?
Devenish.
Present.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good. Who
Darren
else?
Michaelis from Foresight.
Didn't see you. Hi, Darren.
Yeah, right here.
Will Conley.
Present.
Okay. And who am I missing?
This is Mark Rodericks, Analysis and Design Engineering.
Okay, how you doing? Anyone
Good evening.
else?
Pete Reisfelder, 4 Beach Tree Drive.
Okay. This is going to be fun. All right, let's move on then. This open meeting of the Lakeville Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All right, we are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in discussion with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Good enough. All right. Now, most of you have probably seen the agenda for tonight, but for a couple of reasons, I felt it necessary to reorganize it a little bit, as long as there aren't any strong objections to that. I think it's to everyone's benefit. So first is going to be an NOI. This is for 32 Fuller Shores, and the name is Fuller, and I think Darren is representing.
Yes, good evening. Darren McHale from Foresight Engineering here on behalf of the Fuller family. They have a existing 2-bedroom dwelling down on the pond on Fuller Shores Drive. They're currently doing work on that dwelling, and we're now filing to upgrade the septic system, which is currently 2 cesspools in the water table, both within 100 feet of the pond. What we are proposing is a tight tank system with the preparation for a advanced treatment system in the future if the homeowner so wishes. The tanks are outside the 100-foot buffer. However, the existing cesspools are not, so we'll have to do some work to fill those in and pump them. And we also have a group of trees that are right on the 100-foot buffer line that are kind of interfering with the tank installations. We'll have to have those removed. We have a double hay bale and silt fence line shown, upgrading of the pond, and we also have an existing concrete wall on the edge of the pond to prevent any erosion in that direction. Happy to take any questions.
Okay, before I open it up to the other members, I have just a few clarification. Are there any tree removals, and if so, how many?
Yes, there would be 4 pines shown near the driveway to be removed, and the 2 beech trees, one on either side of the tight tanks.
Okay, and would they be used using a crane?
No, most of those, well, they might have to, but most of them should be able to be dropped right there. The 2 beech trees are definitely small enough. The pines will probably have to be a cranes because you have a garage right there and houses across the street.
Yeah, okay.
And then
All
the
right,
machines would dig out the stumps where they put the tanks in.
And what about the stumps? Are
They
you
would
gonna
remove
dig them out
those. Yeah, they would remove those from the site.
All right, good. Now, you mentioned a future leaching field. How far into the future are we talking?
It would be up to the homeowner. So right now we're installing a tight tank system, and basically if they get tired of pumping that system, they'll have the alternative to install a microfast and put a raised leach field in. We would have to file another notice for that. There'd be a good amount of grading and some walls required for that system. So they'll be filing another notice. Right now we're just filing for the tanks.
All right, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something that was actually scheduled.
No, sir.
Okay, so let's open it up to discussion. Joseph, you want to go first?
I don't really have any questions. Obviously, we're going to improve the system here by not putting stuff into the water table.
Okay. Nancy?
I have a few. On your deed restriction, Darren, it says a deed restriction is required limiting the dwelling to 3 bedrooms, but down below it says 2 bedrooms and 220.
It's definitely 2. Yeah, it's 2. So I
Is that
apologize for that typo.
That's a typo?
Yeah, I see it right there. Yeah, that should say 2 up there at note 9.
All right, so that should say 2.
Yep.
Okay. Dewatering basin?
I don't think we'll need it. The water table that we see by the tank location is a perched water table, Nancy.
Okay.
We had a 66-minute per inch perk out there. The ground is basically concrete. I don't think they'll truly see groundwater. The bottom of my tanks is at 55 and the pond is normally around 54. So they shouldn't really see any water. And if we do need a dewatering pit, it would probably go right where the cesspools are now. And on the other side of that hay bale line to make sure we're as far away as possible.
Okay. Natural heritage?
We have not heard back yet, so I would just ask contingent upon their receipt.
Okay. Okay, that's it for me.
All right, Mark?
No, everything looks good to me, Mr. Chair.
Very good, thank you. John?
No, I mean, most of the new construction stuff is all outside the 100-foot buffer zone anyway. So
Right.
it looks good.
Okay, and Josh?
No comment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So if there aren't any other questions or comments, let's take a roll call.
Want a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about a motion?
Well, we'll do that too.
All right, I'll make a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions with all of our standard conditions and any conditions that Natural heritage might include, and I don't know what the date is on the natural heritage, so the order of conditions shouldn't go out until we pass that 30-day
Yep.
mark. Darren, can I
Correct,
ask Darren a
correct.
question? What date?
Yeah, they were mailed. I'd have to look. You guys have the slip, so I'd have to find my copy of the slips. They were mailed right away, though. I think on the 26th they were mailed, so that would be 2 weeks. We probably have another 2 weeks for their 30 days.
Okay,
And
so,
there's no rush. We're still going through the Board of Health, and they'll
All
have to
right.
do the deed restriction, so we're not in a super rush.
all right, and the order of conditions will not be delivered or whatever until that 30-day period is over.
You want to note that change to 2 bedrooms on general note number 9
Yeah,
Ah,
I can do that also.
as part of the motion, Nancy?
in receipt of corrected plan.
Yep, no problem.
I
I'll
second.
second that.
Yeah, was that a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's vote then. First of all, Joe.
Aye.
Okay. Nancy,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
and myself, aye. All right, so the motion carries.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Darren, before you
Thanks,
run
Darren.
off,
Yep.
two very brief questions. I noticed on your abutter notification
Yep.
form, you stated that the conservation's availability was Monday through Friday. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 2.
Yeah, they can leave a message at any time, so they can still call the
They
office.
can still, right, leave a message.
Yeah.
And also, did you or was the owner notified of a drum floating in the pond adjacent to their dock?
I was not, but I'm not sure if they're usually there working, so I'm sure they would have been made aware of it. But if not, I will make sure they are.
We got a call, not really a complaint, but
Right near the dock. Okay.
yeah. So just so
I
that
can
you're
look into
aware of
that.
it.
Okay, I'll look into it. It was probably pretty windy the other day. Maybe something blew over. I'll have them look into it.
Okay, that's good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, next, we're going to go to an RDA for 93 Vaughn Street. Barclay is the owner and the applicant. So is Mr. Barclay here?
Yep, I'm here. So the work that we're looking to have done is primarily an expansion of an existing deck, part of which would be partially enclosed as a green room. We would be installing an above ground pool off
Okay,
of
could you speak up a little bit? I'm having trouble hearing you. A
Sure. Is this any better?
little better, yes.
Okay. So it would be an expansion of our existing deck, a portion of which we would enclose as a screen room. An above ground pool would be installed as well that would be tied into that deck. And in doing so, there would be 2 trees that need to be removed for that work. And in addition to that, while we're doing that, we would also remove a willow tree that has some pretty extensive termite damage.
Do we have a plan that goes with this?
My question exactly.
There should be a sketch in the back of your handout.
Well, there's sketches of the house, but there's no plan showing where the wetlands are or.
We can't see the lot setbacks, the
Nope.
Right.
resource area, or a silt fence line.
None of that there.
Adam, what would you
Don't
be
know.
your estimate of the distance from your new construction to the wetland line that you and I looked at a little while ago?
So the deck expansion from the existing wetland line would probably be, I would say 20 or 30 feet. The willow tree is the one that's closest to the wetland line that may be right on the edge.
Yeah.
Not quite sure exactly where that line is, but I think the willow would be closest. The nearest edge of the deck would probably be 20, 30 feet from the wetland line.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that all the work that's being proposed is inside the buffer zone.
I would agree with that, yes.
Mark?
So we're referencing a willow tree, but as far as the above ground pool, I'm assuming that would be the closest to the pond?
No, if you're looking at that sketch, the screen room area, that 20-foot section there would be the closest to the wetlands. The swimming pool would probably end about halfway through the screen room.
So if I'm looking at that plan view sketch that shows the new deck, the new porch, and the pool, the pond is on the opposite side of that from the stairs.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So the addition of the new screen porch is parallel to where the house would come closest to the pond.
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Chair, you've been out there. What's the grading like as far as from the proposed work area to the pond?
Right, it is sloped around the house. That's a gentle slope, but beyond that, beyond the 20 or 30 feet, it flattens out quite a bit, and it's just extensive wetland beyond that as far as the river.
Right, there's, Mr. Chairman, what pond?
It's the river.
The
It's
river,
the
it's the
river,
river.
right, the river. Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, I'm here.
I just don't know how we can approve an RDA without a plan. Because how can you put a condition when we don't even know where if the siltation barrier is gonna go?
So that being said, Mr. Barkley, could you get, even if it's a copy of your house lot with the septic plan or something from the Board of Health, and then superimpose this on the plan to show us a better, like an aerial view of the entire area?
Sure. Do you want the trees outlined in that sketch as well, or just the deck and pool work?
It would be good if you could it doesn't have to be exact, but if you could locate the tree that you want to take down, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just to clarify, there would be 3. The willow tree is the one that's going to be closest to the wetlands, and then the other 2 would be just kind of actually about where the pool would go.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, include the trees, the proposed location for the pool, the area that is let's say the area that you mow, the area with the grass that makes a pretty good break between the wetland area.
Or Adam, not to cut you off, Mr. Chair, but something else that might work is if you went on Google Earth and you zoomed in on your property to the point that we could see the entire area and take a screenshot of it and just draw on that, that would be something that I think that might satisfy the board as well.
Okay, I can do that.
So I guess I'd like to make a motion to continue if that's required for an RDA.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, does anyone else have a question or comment?
I do. If he gets a plan from the Board of Health, I wouldn't mind doing a site visit and help him try to sketch in the wetland line so we see how it goes.
That'd be great.
Well, Bob, didn't you already walk it with them and kind of look at the wetland line?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if you remember where it is, you could help him, but, you know.
I think if using the Google Earth or Google Maps view that Mark suggested, I think that'll make it quite clear, because it is a pretty distinct line between lawn and where the wetland begins.
And that would
Okay.
show the trees. You don't have to
Okay.
get that. The trees would be right there on
Beautiful.
that view. So we're going to meet on the 24th this month. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Well, there aren't any plans yet. We haven't received any applications.
Well, we could do it for this one. If we're gonna continue him so we can get him going, right?
Sure.
So, and make a motion to continue the 93 Vaughn Street hearing to our November 24th meeting at 7 p.m.
Second.
Okay.
That's not Thanksgiving, right?
That's, no, it's a couple
Oh,
days before.
we can't have Thanksgiving anyway. I forgot.
Well, pack a lunch.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and
John seconded it.
a second. Any other discussion? All right, so let's vote. Joseph,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
and myself. Aye. So the motion carries. All right, so you understand what's ahead of you?
Yep, I will provide that updated screenshot with the kind of superimposed deck and pool work and submit that to you.
Something I would recommend also, Adam, is when you're doing that, we are going to need you to put up a siltation barrier between the work area and the limits of the wetlands. So if you could just put a line on there where you're proposing to put them as well, that would be helpful. So we have to, it's difficult as it can be with these remote meetings. So just knowing, we'd want to see that's something important. Put it on the plan, even if we ask you to adjust it a little bit at that meeting.
And also, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but I don't recall if we mentioned it tonight. What's the timing? How soon do you propose to do some of this of the work?
So we don't have any hard and fast deadlines. We are still working through the plans with the contractors. The willow tree is our biggest concern with, the blizzard seasons coming up. We'd like to get that down before heavy winds bring it towards our house. But that'd be the only limitation.
Okay. Does anyone have any problem with him taking down the tree in advance of any kind of storm events prior to getting all the paperwork done?
As long as you don't remove the stump until after you get the siltation barrier up.
Okay. We clear on that, everyone?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, that's good.
Actually, that's how this project started. It was just cutting the trees and it kind of blossomed into all these other little shoots. So, all right, I guess that's it then. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, again, a slight change in the agenda. Is someone here from Zenith?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, there you are. Okay, how you doing?
Good.
So you're up for 17 South Ave, an RDA for Furtado?
Yep.
Okay, it's all yours.
Will Connolly, Zenith Consulting Engineers. We are proposing the installation of a tight tank at 17 South Ave to replace an existing failed septic. The existing septic, as you can see, is about 15 feet from the BVW. The proposed tight tank is going to be about 29 feet. Pretty much the entirety of the lot's within the 50-foot buffer from the BVW. So we don't have much room here. We're proposing silt sock, which wraps around to the house for erosion control, as well as a dewatering basin. We recently had one approved at 13 South Ave under very similar circumstances. And this plan has been approved by the Board of Health. So if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them now.
All right, let's go around the table then. Joseph?
Is this planned to be a year-round dwelling?
As far as I know, yes, it is.
Okay, so they realize that this is going to be kind of expensive to keep that maintained and pumped out. You've explained that to them, right?
Yeah, I believe Niles would have spoken to them about that. I think this is pretty much their last option though.
I was just gonna say, are we at the last option now? There's no system that can be put in that would handle this other than a tight tank, because typically tight tank is the last step, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, just being within 100 feet from the surface water supply, as well as pretty much being on that 25-foot buffer from the BVW, we felt like this was pretty much last resort. And there's also water table at about 20 inches, so it would make a mess with any other system.
There a maintenance agreement that's involved in this, so we guarantee that it's being pumped as an alarm when it gets to 70% full or something like that.
Yeah, there is. You can see the 3 fifth capacity alarm is shown there in the detail.
Yep.
I'm not sure that they make you do a maintenance agreement unless it's seasonal. Is that correct? I think the maintenance is if you're not present.
I'm not sure on that. I'd have to get back to you on that question.
Mr. Chairman,
Hello?
I think you have to do a maintenance agreement, because you wouldn't be doing a tight tank unless there was a problem with the groundwater or flood zone or some other thing. So I think it's required by the Board of Health.
Yeah, the water table is very, very shallow there. And that sounds like a good idea. All right, Joseph, anything else?
I was just looking at the ACEC map, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with what they put in here or plan on putting in. And it's also outstanding resource waters area. Tough area to deal with.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of issues.
Including flooding. They're in a flood zone, right?
That's correct.
But it's zone X, right?
No, this is a zone AE.
AE. Oh, there it is. There it is. AE.
Yeah.
So the pond, you give the elevation of the lot at 57. The pond is what, 54 there?
Yeah, I believe so. So it's
So that only,
the entirety of the lot.
Yeah. Only gives you a buffer of 3 feet, so we know what happens there. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to check that. No more questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Nancy?
Did you notify Natural Heritage, and when?
I'm not sure the status on that, but I believe so.
You would have to. It's in the natural. Well, you got the map on here, so you must have sent it in. So
yeah.
It's on an RDA. It's just it's a little confusing. I just want to make sure that they have 30 days to respond, seeing as it is on the pond. And it's a positive thing, actually. The more information that they have of how many people are upgrading and trying to make it better, the better. But I notice you have the natural heritage map on here. So I'll just make that as part of the motion.
Okay. Anything else, Nancy?
No, have you been approved by the Board of Health yet?
Yes, this plan has been approved by the Board of Health.
Okay, good. I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Let's see, Mark?
Well, I'm just, I don't know what to say.
Between a rock and a hard place here.
Well,
Should we note this somewhere?
well, I'm just, the pond is at what, 54? The top of tank is
Yep.
at 3, basically. So you guys are gonna be pumping water constantly to get this tank in the hole to compact that stone at the bottom. It's gonna be quite a feat to get this in.
Yeah, I mean, they recently did it at 13 South Ave, which was, I think it was pretty much very similar circumstances, but they did get it to work.
And there is a dewatering pit on the plan, right?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
Okay, no, I don't have any negative comments or anything. I just, I'd like to almost see the process and just seems like you're gonna be shoveling against the tide, but I hope it works and I support it.
Well,
Well,
as
it's
usual,
certainly improving things.
Yep.
as always, we'll request that you notify us when construction starts so that we can go out and take a look at what's going on.
Okay.
And I assume there was close attention paid to buoyancy calculations to make sure that that tank stays in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ballast shown on there to make sure.
Yeah,
They
it'll be a
don't
little
pop out.
embarrassing.
Anybody else? We ready for a motion?
No.
Yep.
John, we didn't hear from you?
No, you guys covered it all.
All right, and Josh?
No comment.
No comment. Okay. All right, so now we can vote.
I
So,
make a motion. Well, motion first.
I
I
thought
make
you
a
had-
motion that we issue a negative determination 3 with the condition that we give the 30-day notice. I mean, give 30 days to Natural Heritage to respond, and if they have any conditions, that we will add them.
Okay.
And that's it.
Do we have a second?
As long as she's done, I'll second.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't, and we need to put on there that Bob will inspect the hay bale line. Cause this is an RDA, so
Right.
it doesn't, right?
Oh, that's
Right.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All right, I second that.
All right. And Josh voted so.
No, do a roll call now, Bob.
All right, are you getting a lot of interference?
no,
Not currently.
Yes, I'm getting little buzzes from time to time here.
Well, my screen keeps flashing for one thing. And I've got a lot of background noises. So forgive me if I'm a little disoriented. Where were we?
We have a motion and a second on the floor.
Okay, so Joe,
Aye.
Nancy,
aye,
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Josh.
Aye.
Oh, good. We made it through. And I for myself. So the motion carries. Thank you. You excuse me a minute?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming in, Will.
Hello here. How come this, I can hear pounding? All right, I'm back. I found the source of disturbance. It's called grandchildren.
Ah,
All right. So moving right along, let's go right next door to 15 South Ave.
That's me. Can you hear me okay? It's Chris Chapin.
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. All right, so what it is I have here is a home I purchased back in August. It currently is a cottage or that sits on a block foundation. We're looking at doing a pretty substantial rehab on the property, changing the roof line, etc. Rehabbing the interior, the exterior, as well as proposing to add a 24 by 24 garage outside of the setbacks in the rear corner of the property. And we're also looking to obviously replace that foundation. So I had met with you, Bob, out there on site and just looking for a firm understanding as what would be required to get that approved, A, and B, what would be determined to be necessary between the property and the pond, which sits about 15 feet from the furthest corner, closest to the building itself. So would that be a silt barrier, hay bales, a combination of the two, etc.?
Okay, is that anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, couple questions then before I turn it over.
Yes.
Your sketch shows a tank in the front of the property. Is that going to be removed at all, or no other tanks coming or going?
Nope, that would be staying. The existing would be staying.
All right, and the details on the garage. What kind of footing are you proposing for that?
Probably do a slab.
A slab, okay.
Yeah. Well, that
And
would be a slab.
When I was out there, we were looking at your seawall, and you said at some time you might want to make some repairs on it, but you're not proposing to include that with this filing.
Not currently, no.
Okay. All right, that's good for me. So, any questions from anyone else? Joe?
I'm looking at the elevations over here, and it says at the top of the bottom floor is at 55, and we know that the pond is at 54. So all we got is a 12-inch difference there.
What we're looking to do is actually raise this building. I actually had been in contact with my insurance company, and in order to get out of that the flood zone, we are looking to raise the building at the same time as we're replacing that foundation. So when we're supporting it, we're going to jack that portion of the building up and then, set it back down on the foundation.
How far are you going up?
About 18 inches.
Only 18 inches. I see it says top of the next higher floor, 57.6. Is that considering to be then the new elevation?
I'm going to need one quick moment here to look at the plan that you're referring to here. Okay.
This is the elevation certificate for your insurance company.
Yes. Okay, yes. So we need to get to that baseline. I believe that's 18 inches. It might be a bit more according to that plan. I'm trying to rifle through my papers here real quick. Okay, so we will locate that in what's required, to put that up. So I'm looking for that.
Yep. Well, it saves you a lot of money on insurance and keeps your house dry when the water gets high.
I can save the money to pump out my tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only real question I had.
All right, Nancy.
On the RDA itself, I actually have a lot of things. On the RDA itself, there's nothing checked of what you're asking us.
Right, it's in the narrative.
Right, but still, you need to check what you're asking us, number one. Number two, it says a new foundation pour for home. Looking at this request for determination, I think it far exceeds the work that we can condition for an RDA. I think this filing needs a notice of intent. You're doing a lot of work, including a foundation very close to the pond, which your plan doesn't even show exactly how close it is, a distance from the corner of the house to the pond. Pardon?
12 feet. The plan is to scale at 3/32.
Right, you're doing a lot of work within 12 feet of the pond. And I think that anyone else that usually does this much work would submit a notice of intent so that we need to condition it for a full construction project. Is that close to the pond. And then on
And
an
to add-
RDA, we cannot do, it's not recommended by DEP to do any more than 1 or 2 conditions. And this is in the flood zone. It's in natural heritage. We just looked at one next door. It's fully in natural heritage. So I don't know if they're gonna have to comment on this. Did you send anything in, any kind of a request to natural heritage for comment?
No, I did not. This is
Okay.
this is all very new to
Right.
me. I actually met with Bob and just kind of followed his
Right.
lead, so to speak.
I understand, but it's also in a flood zone. So I think some kind of engineering plans for that need to be done. It's just an extensive amount of work to do this close to the pond on an RDA.
Where did you say the water level is on that piece of land? How far down is water?
You're hitting me with a question I don't have the direct answer to here. Is it in my paperwork right here?
More than likely, probably only about 24 inches. Now, you say you're gonna pour a slab for the garage, but, Mark, wouldn't he have to have frost walls under that, the edges?
Yep.
Well, never mind that. He's gonna have to put frost walls under the house. He's pouring a
Under the house, too, yeah.
The house
So
is.
then you're going down into the water table. I think the applicant would be better served to spend some time with an engineer and a contractor and come back with a full notice of intent.
Well, Chris, you're gonna contract the,
I'm sorry, you were muffled there.
you're gonna contract the work, correct?
Correct.
But to Joel's point, it probably would be in your best interest to get a civil engineer involved.
Okay.
Have you actually worked with an engineer on this project at all so far?
I have not. Nope. I worked with a foundation company out of Middleborough.
Have you gone to the zoning board of appeals yet?
I'm sorry, you're a little muffled, Mark.
Have you gone to the zoning board of appeals?
The 19th of this month.
Because the setbacks on the new garage are closer than,
We're sitting, yeah, we're sitting outside of or at the setback limit.
you're beyond it. 20 feet is the limit.
Oh, is it 20? All right, so we'll modify that accordingly. This was drawn up by my contractor, so he might have misinterpreted some of that.
I think the street setback is longer and the side setbacks are 20.
Okay.
But if you're going to ZBA, you can ask for that.
Right. So we'll tweak that accordingly. Or I'll just eliminate it all. The key is the house. The garage is just an added bonus. I'm not really that's not really nearly as important. Or not at all as important, really.
Well, you've done a lot of the background work already for the RDA. So you've got a good head start on doing an NOI should we go in that direction.
And if you're gonna do it and hire an engineer, put everything you want on the plan.
Exactly. Do it now.
Get it out of the way now, even if you don't do it for a couple of years. Get it all on the plan.
Okay.
All right. So we heard Mark, John, anything else?
No.
No. Josh?
Ready for a motion? Ready for a
Yeah,
motion?
let's have a motion.
All right, I make a motion that we issue a positive determination 3, which reads the work described on the reference plan document is within the area subject to protection under the act and will remove, build, dredge, or alter the area. Therefore, said work requires the filing of a notice of intent.
Okay, all those, favor, say aye. Joe,
Aye.
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Josh.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. So if you have any questions on how to proceed, paperwork, etc., give me a call in the office and I'll help you out.
I will definitely be in contact.
All
This
right,
is a
very
big
good.
surprise here, to say the very least.
All right.
Good luck. Good luck, Chris.
All right, two
Oh,
left that are somewhat related. We're losing.
No, I got you back.
All right, I keep losing contact with everyone still. It must be that earthquake we had. Still shaking.
I've had people from all over the country that know me have called and wanted to know if I was okay. And I'm trying to explain to them, it was this teeny little thing. We get them all the time.
Yeah.
Gee.
Oh, my
this
house
is not
visibly
the West
shook.
Coast. Yeah, but that's still compared to a California earthquake, right?
Right. The dishes didn't all tinkle.
All right, let's move on. Two more to go. Next is going to be 24 Hickory Lane, another RDA. The name, the owner is Harrison.
Yes, good evening. This is Greg Harrison. I'm being represented by Mark Roderick, so I'll let him do the speaking. He has the plan. Mark, are you online?
Hello.
Good evening, Mark Roderick's Analysis and Design Engineering here. I'm representing Greg Harrison, 24 Hickory Lane. Mr. Harrison is proposing to install a synthetic turf area on his property that is within the buffer zone, the Long Pond. The turfed area, synthetic grass, is approximately 612 square feet. I've got and showing some erosion control barrier surrounding the area of activity. That activity will consist of removing topsoil on the order of 5 inches and subsequently installing some gravel base and then the synthetic grass in the area. This area is within the buffer zone, obviously, and within the flood elevation AE 57, and also within the NHESP area PH 618.
Can you say that last piece again about the 61 PH8? What is that?
It's in the National Heritage Estimated Habitat area,
Oh, okay. Thank you.
just like all the other properties along Long Pond in the area.
Right.
Okay. Was that it?
So there's no change in finished grading required here. And if I could also add that the synthetic grass is water permeable and requires no pesticides or fertilizers as a result of replacing the lawn with synthetic grass. Thank you.
Okay. Can you
And
give me
besides
an
that, the
estimate?
Patriots aren't using it anymore.
Give me an estimate on how much material was excavated already?
There was an
Deep, or
area
how
of
much?
the work did commence prior to ceasing when the RDA was submitted. There was approximately, I'd say about 300 to 400 square feet of the removal of the existing topsoil when the activities were ceased for the filing of this RDA.
So you're talking about a slightly larger area now than what was done at that time, or is that it?
That's correct. The total area proposed is about 612 square feet, which was originally proposed, but it was stopped before the activities got to that level.
Okay, and some gravel was brought in. Do you anticipate bringing in any more?
I think the area, to complete the area, there's a slight amount of more gravel that would be probably to the west of where the initial gravel was brought in.
Okay.
That's just part of the compacted substrate of the gravel and stone dust mixed?
That is correct. And subsequently, that proposed area for additional gravel base is being outlined with the erosion control area shown on the plan.
Are
Is
there
this a seasonal dwelling?
Yes, this is a seasonal dwelling.
Because I see the tight tank, so I'm kind of assuming that. Okay, thank you.
That tight tank is existing and shown on the plan. Yes, sir.
Yep, yep.
Are there any drainage structures on either side of the project?
There were none. There were none that were observed either on plan or on site.
Okay. Is there like a swale or anything to channel runoff?
No, sir. There is a vacant area to the east of the proposed property, but there is no drainage swale indicated with that. That border has been lined with aprovites as shown on the plan.
Okay. All right. So any members of the commission have any questions? Joseph? Or
None for me.
no, Nancy?
Well, has Natural Heritage been notified to comment on this project?
No, with the filing of an RDA, I did not notify National Heritage.
Well, it is within Natural Heritage. I believe they need to be notified.
In fact, your notes say it's within PH 618.
Right. It's also in a flood zone?
Yes, it is in flood zone AE 57.
Yep.
I would suggest we add, if we approve this, that we put a condition that Natural Heritage needs to be notified, and they do have 30 days to respond.
Okay.
Understand.
All right. Mark?
For the most part, I don't have any problem with it, other than the last part where we said it's in a flood zone. My only concern then would be you add either a silica or an acrylic sand into the turf as the final step, it looks like, in the construction. And I just would want to make sure if there ever was a flood that the least harmful or non-harmful of those products would be used. I would have to assume it would be acrylic, but I don't know that.
This is Greg speaking. Yeah, there is no substrate added to the surface of the material.
So in your general specifications, line C, powder broom in 7 pounds per square foot of silica or acrylic sand into the turf, doesn't happen.
Mark, this is Greg. I will confirm that. From what I understand, there's no substrate being added, but that's something to confirm.
Okay. So outside of that, I just think that the Natural Heritage thing is a good thing to get a response from. And beyond that, no other comment.
Okay. John?
No, I don't have any comment.
And Josh?
No comment.
Okay. All right, then. Do we hear a motion?
I make a motion that we issue a -3 determination with the 2 conditions. One, that the revised, can you tell me if this is right, Mark? Revised plan shows that no substrate being added to the fill, or is that how you say it? Because it seems like it says that on the plan and he's saying no, so I think the plan needs to show that it's not going to be there.
So Greg, I think that's the little pellets that they sweep into the turf.
Yeah, that may be possible. So if is the question, if there is substrate being added, you just want to make sure it's non-hazardous. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Yeah, and I know for a fact it's 100% non-hazardous material. So I know that for a fact, but we'll confirm the spec on the infill.
Okay. So Does
All
that help?
right, so I'll take that back. I'll start again. Issue a negative determination with the condition that no hazardous material be added to the fill. Is that how?
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
All
it's
right,
to the top, it's to the turf.
to
Okay.
the turf. All right, and that Natural Heritage will be notified and have 30 days to respond, and if they have any conditions, they will be added also.
Second that motion.
All right. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. So let's take the roll call. Joe,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Josh.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. So you're all set.
Well, pending natural heritage.
Pending, yeah, of course. And I assume you're not going to use this for parking.
No, no, sir, not included for parking. Putting, but not parking.
You better put up a sign. Yeah, well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All right, finally, last one. 4 Beech Tree. Another RDA for Ricefelder. Did I get it right?
You did, Bob. Very good. Not many people do, so good job.
I've been practicing. All right, this is kind of a repeat of what we just heard, except that they haven't started any work yet. But I'll let you describe the project.
Kyle, did you want to take over?
Yeah.
So-
Kyle Devonish, Outback Engineering. So we included in part of your packet, we included a previous tight tank design, pretty much for reference to where Long Pond and the buffers are, and with the house. But similar proposal to the previous project. We're proposing the replacement of the existing manicured lawn with artificial turf. It'll have a 3/4 inch stone, wash stone material as a solid base. And from my research, just going off of the conversation previously, that silica material does not required to be put in.
This is actually the material right here, and there is no rubber or anything. It's just the blanketed piece, so that there is no rubber or anything that goes in there. Greg's would be the same, but I didn't want to speak for Greg's lawn because his is a little bit different with the turf, but it's just a little bit shorter than the one that I'm proposing to go in.
From what I found on the from the supplier's website, that silica getting swept in is primarily used in like playground type settings. I'm not sure if it's in to soften the, but it's not required here. So I actually included Keith took some awesome pictures from his rear deck, which show in photos 2, 3, and 4, the tree in pretty much the center of the photos. That is going to remain. That will not get touched. It has some stones around the base to protect the root zone. And the landscaped island in the middle will be wiped out. No change in final grade elevation. All the hardscapings to remain. As you can see in a couple, I think, what is it? 3 and 4, the wall at the pond actually does extend above finished grade. So we're anticipating that'll provide a lot of our siltation protection from the pond. But siltation fence can be provided where that does not provide any protection. Any material, there will be a small machine to remove lawn and organic material. And then it will be, the stone will be wheelbarrowed in and spread and compacted, and then the artificial material laid. We shouldn't see just because of installation takes about 2 to 3 days. We should be able to control any runoff, siltation that may occur. And once the nice part about this material is once it's laid, there's no downtime for growth for stabilization. I could take any questions you may have.
Anyone?
I do. Sorry. Joe, do you have any first?
Nope. I'm all set.
Well, I'm looking at the plan, and it's not showing like drawn in on the plan where it's going.
Yeah, so it
On
was
the front side of the house, right?
yes,
Well,
it's on
I
the
call
rear
the
side
front-
between the house.
And the pond. I call the pond the front side, so sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. It's on, so it'll be on the front side. The where the shown porch, there's actually a paved patio there, and just outside of that, up to the wall, which is
All right, so it's a little closer to the pond, whereas the neighbor next door is doing his in the back.
So let me just interject. You're replacing all the grass with turf.
yes, in the front, as we're calling the front, on the pond side.
House I call the front side the front of the house, the street side.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Either way, I just don't want to confuse terms, but so you're going to go from the front corners of the house all the way to the pond, or you're going to go from the back corners of the house to the pond?
It's the back corners of the house to the pond.
The pond side of the
Or
house.
to the wall. To the wall. The pond is not directly at the wall. As you can see in photo, sorry, bear with me. Photo 4. You can see there's a
patio
sand area there. So we're going up to the wall. We're not going directly to the pond.
Is it easier to see in photo 1? You're looking down over, is there a little wall in the beach below?
Yes.
Is that what we're looking at? So that wall is slightly elevated?
Yes.
Correct.
From the yard area.
How long are you doing the project on your own? Or you're having a contractor come in and do this work for you?
Just the landscape company that's doing it.
They're the installer of the turf.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Did they
What's
give
this-
you a time frame for the amount of duration that the project would take from the time they start stripping the grass until the turf goes down?
Yeah, so he said 2-3 days would be max, but they're planning on probably 2 days.
And roughly, what's the square footage of?
That's my question.
It was approximately, Keith, if you have a hard number.
Give me a range within 200 square feet or 100 square feet if you could.
I would say, if you give me 1 second, I think I have the proposal.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And all the hardscaping's gonna stay?
Yes. There's nothing's going to be removed other than that top
Just
soil
grass.
with the grass. That was it. So the total square footage was 1,710 square feet.
And I know you've done your homework on it. This is not me and questioning you as much as, is your landscape contractor like a quote unquote approved installer of this product? Has he done it before?
Oh, yes. This is all they do.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that this whole carpet doesn't end up at the pond because some guy said he could do it and it didn't get pinned down correctly.
Yeah, no, this is their profession. They're not really landscape. They do the artificial grass. That's why I went with them. It would have cost me more money to go with a regular landscaper. But I'm sorry, it would have cost me less money, but I went with this guy because this is what they do. And I don't want, what you're talking about as much as you don't.
Yep, okay. So my only recommendation would be maybe just a narrow strip of straw wattle along that wall just to gain a little bit of height for retention, just in case over that 3 days they had a downpour. And as it approached, as the limits of the work approached the wall, if you were covering it up at that point, I can see that you'd need to pull it out. But I just, when there's grass, I would recommend that we put some sort of a siltation barrier, small, the straw wattle staked in right along the wall, so it doesn't inhibit the whole project, but it does give some protection. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
My turn again?
Sure, why not? Bob's all frozen up. Talk all you want.
Okay. Once again, it's in natural heritage territory and a flood zone.
Yes, natural heritage will have to be notified.
Right, natural heritage will have to be notified.
Joe,
Yes?
just letting you know that we lost Bob on this, so you may be taking over at the chairmanship until if he can log back
Okay.
by phone. Unless you want.
So, Nancy, are you making
Are we ready? Are we ready for a motion?
Yes.
We are ready for a motion, yes.
All right. I make a motion that we issue a -3 determination, and there will be 3 conditions. Natural heritage will be notified, and they have 30 days to respond and add conditions if they have any. The siltation barrier will be added along the wall area. And just because it makes me feel better, I'm going to add your own condition on here. There will be no stockpiling of material, which you yourself say in your letter. So I'd like to add that on as a condition, just to make sure you pull it out, because you are doing it between the house and the pond, whether we call it the front or the back, it's between the house and the pond.
John, was that you that seconded it? Okay, Joe, we have a motion and a second.
And a motion in the second. Nancy, voting?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Josh, get Josh.
And Josh. And
Aye.
Josh votes aye? Okay,
Yes.
good.
Motion
So it
carries.
passes.
Majority.
Motion carries.
You're all set. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Put that notification
Now
back to Heritage before you proceed.
Okay, I have a question just with that, because I'm not really sure what that entails as far as, I know I'm in a time crunch. Is that something that can be turned around rather quickly so the weather doesn't prohibit me from, getting into the later months?
Well, you're
Mr.
not worried about,
Mr.
you're not worried about the turf growing, are you?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, right. Natural Heritage has 30 days to respond, so the quicker you get that out and get us the green card, the quicker you can get a response from them.
Yeah, and
Okay, so
we
I don't
found,
have to wait till the next meeting. I can just submit.
No, you don't have to come to a meeting.
Okay.
Right.
You're
You're
agreeing
approved.
discussing, but you need to get that filed with them. So Kyle, you'll send
yeah,
that.
I can take care of that. We've also found that, I forgot her name, over at Natural Heritage. She's been relatively quick on her turnarounds. I don't know about with COVID and everything, but
Right, and you're approved. You just won't get your permit until they respond, and then we can do it out right away. Bob's usually pretty quick on that. There he is. He's back.
I'm back.
some time.
Kyle will file with Natural Heritage. When you guys get a response, you need to bring it back to the conservation office, and then you're good to go.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck. House.
Thank you all.
So Bob is back?
Yeah.
I'm back. Did you take a vote?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
You're no longer chairman.
What a relief.
Big threat.
All right, I'll be in touch, Keith.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
So that takes care of new business. All we have now is old business, right?
Yeah, just briefly, bring you up to date on Lakeville Hospital. We finally got a set of plans from the partners, and they're pretty extensive. I've got a huge roll in the office. And Nancy, did you keep the other copies they gave us?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. So if anyone needs to take a look at them, you can either see Nancy or come to the office and see what they dropped off. The
It's
Nancy,
huge. It's huge.
Can we
Yeah.
come to the office? Will they let us in?
yeah, for something like this, yeah.
Okay.
You can go into the vestibule in front of the Board of Health and request it. Sometimes, you know, where you're a board member, they will probably let you in or just bring you the set of plans.
Yeah, we can certainly make arrangements. But there's a lot to digest.
They taking the whole rest of the site?
Pardon me?
Are they taking the whole rest of the site?
Pretty much, I think.
Pretty much. How about this? About 10 Lakeville hospitals will fit inside their building, from my estimation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bob and Nancy and I wandered around on their tick hunting the other day. It's a big piece of property, boy. Let me tell you.
The area we looked at the other day was mostly around where the old landfill was.
Yep.
And what they did this week on Monday, the wetland specialist did some wetlands delineation, and so that's I think he was all alone. Am I right, Mark?
He went alone. He sent the peer review engineer forwarded the wetland scientist letter to you, myself, and I think Michelle or somebody from the 43D committee.
Okay, good.
Verification. I didn't get a chance to read that yet, and we want to be cautious about what we talk about tonight, because this isn't.
No, that's it. That's just to let people know what we're doing.
Yep. They've verified, or they made some small changes if they did. I don't recall, and I didn't read it, but the town's peer review engineer went out to verify the wetland line on Monday. And that's kind of where we're at. And the plans have been submitted.
Yeah.
So at the next 43D meeting, we're gonna either deem it complete or request a little more information. And then that's gonna start to go to the boards after that.
It's really worth your time to take a look at the plans. They are so detailed, and there's so many there are so many details. It's hard to take them all in at once, so it'd be to your advantage. All right. Then the other piece of business is 149 Bedford Street. If you're not familiar with that, that's the house that's on the corner of Route 79 and 18. It's been falling apart for years.
Yeah.
And there's finally a proposal to knock it down and put up an office building. We have a site plan review ongoing, and they haven't filed for an NOI yet, as of yet, but we do have the site plan review.
Bob,
Yeah.
I think there's a either an ANRAD or an RDA on that piece of property from about I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, maybe.
Absolutely. Yep. Can't remember much about it now, but it should be in the files.
I do, because I walked it. So
Yeah, from what I've seen of the plans, only a small portion of the new development is actually in the buffer zone. Most of it is outside.
yeah, and that's way in the back.
Right.
Even the driveway work? The curb cut and stuff is way down 18 from the corner.
Yes, that's where the
and no curb cut on 79.
No.
Although that's being questioned right now.
That's being questioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the matter of a turnaround because the length of the driveway was over 150 feet or something. So a fire truck requires a turnaround once it goes over a certain length. So there was some comment back and forth. I haven't seen the new revised plan yet, and I know that they need to go in front of ZBA as well, because they're looking for some relief on some of the setbacks still. They'll be more conforming, but not fully conforming.
So something for us to think about. We won't be totally bored.
But no plans.
but no, well, yes, there is a set of plans.
There's a set of plans.
But nothing's been submitted to Concom.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's there, it's on the agenda for the planning board on Thursday. For
So
site plan.
first meeting on it?
First meeting on it, yep.
Okay.
All right, so anything else, anybody? Any questions or comments?
Got the minutes,
I don't have any minutes listed. Oh, wait a minute.
September 8th.
I'm
September
a
8th.
liar. I see it now, September 8th. Anyone have a chance to review them?
I looked them over and I make a motion that we accept the meetings as they exist.
We were a second?
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain. I wasn't there.
So be it. All right, then. So it looks like our next meeting will probably wind up being the 24th.
Okay.
So if you don't hear from anyone else, that'll be it. All right.
Very good.
All right.
Back, but we have that one other, when we continued tonight.
Right.
Right, so we have to have it on the 24th.
We have to have it. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant.
3 Bond Street.
It'll be a quickie if it's just that.
Yeah. Well, you know, that project, it started off with just cutting one tree. That was it.
Right, yeah.
And I went there to look at the one tree. And then he said, well, while you're here, maybe I could do 2 trees. And then I said, well, you know, 2 trees usually lead to 3. And he said, okay, 3. And then I said, anything else? He said, well, I'm thinking of putting a porch. Where are you going to put a porch?
Right next to the pool.
Yeah. Oh, what pool? And it just, you know, went one thing after another. If I'd have said spaceship, he probably would have said, yeah, that's on there next.
That's pretty much like jacking up the chimney and sliding a new house underneath it.
Exactly. So anyway, makes it fun.
Formality's sake, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have a good week. See y'all later.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Bob.